Good morning, family. Welcome to Morning Devotion Light. Today's Friday, October 27th, the 14th day of our prayer condition. Let's begin by greeting our Heavenly Parent and true parents. Chanjian Champumanage Kyungbae. Paro. And for our family pledge, let's welcome Pastor Milhan Stevens.
한평맹세 1. 자녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조 이상인 이상 천국과 천상 천국을 장건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 자녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 중심, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세한다. 3. 자녀극주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과皇族권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 자녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조 이상인 창주대 가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 자녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전신적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 자녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참부모님의 대신 가정으로서 천운을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 자녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본연의 효통과 연결관, 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 자녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 자녀극 시대를 맞이하여 절대신앙, 절대사랑, 절대복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상천국과 전상천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Thank you, Pastor Milhan. I hope you feel better soon. Okay, now for our opening prayer, I'd like to invite Vera Sumagari. Could you please unmute and pray for us today?
Sure.
Thank you.
Most beloved Heavenly Parent, and with heaven and earth and all of humankind, we come before you with a grateful heart today. We have been praying for the Chonshim One to be successfully installed in Harlem, Albany. And just a few months ago, I came back from Chongpyeong, and I really had such an overwhelming experience there, even in the nature, and I hope someday I get to share this. But I really started to understand what your mother was saying about creating an environment where we can really feel your love and feel your heart and be truly connected to you. And I had experience every day to enter the Chonshim One there, and it was a very beautiful experience. And towards the end of being there, I was already worried, how can I keep this feeling when I go back to my quote unquote regular life? How can I keep this? And I was wishing that we could kind of multiply this Chonshim One, this feeling, this place where we can meet you directly, that we could multiply it in other places. And soon We had a Chongqing one in Las Vegas. That was so, when I heard that, it was really beautiful. And then in Belvedere. And when I came back from Korea and we went to visit the Chongqing one in Belvedere, oh my gosh, I walked into this room and I just so overwhelmed with tears, and I could hardly say a word, but I could really see this is where your spirit is, this is where you want to meet us. And ultimately, of course, everything should be Chongqing one, but for the time being, you create a place for us where we can really come to be with you without any distraction from what's happening elsewhere in the world. We can truly meet heart to heart, and we can feel your beating heart, and you can meld your love with our love and help us understand your original intention, Heavenly Parent, for setting this whole creation into motion. And we can come to understand what it is, what kind of life we are meant to live in order to give joy to you and in order to find greatest happiness ourselves. And this is what we want to bring to all the people that we meet every day. We are a long way off, I know, but we have become different people since we met our true parents. Our outlook on life is different, our understanding of love, our realization about how to create an ideal family. All these things have changed and have become so much better. So we have so much to give and so much to share. And I pray that today also we can find the courage to just be out there and be your shining light. Thank you so much for your deep love, and thank you so much for sending true parents. And we pray for our true mother today, that she can be in good health at the age of 80. Things are breaking down in our health, Heavenly Parent. But I pray that whatever time true mother has left on this beautiful earth, that she doesn't have to struggle with her health. And again, I want to offer this prayer to you in the name of Ichino and Virat Sumagari, and all of our brothers and sisters here, all the blessed families, and all those who feel blessed to be a part of this family. Report to you. Aju and Amen.
Aju. Thank you, Vera. All right, family, now it's time for our Godable reading. We're reading from the Mother of Peace, our true mother's memoir. Let's begin.
Welcome to Mother of Peace, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. A memoir by Hak Jahan Moon, a production of the Washington Times Global Media Group, narrated by Alison Hiroto. Chapter 11. The Restoration of Canaan in Heaven and on Earth. The land of death is the land of life, and the land of life is the heavenly land. I was pushing beyond my limits to fulfill the promise I had made to Heavenly Parent, True Father, and our global membership to restore 7 heavenly nations by our Foundation Day events in February 2020. The work of the 7 years since True Father's ascension now was coming to its climax. To accomplish this, I dedicated a 40-day course from mid-November to the year's end as a course to restore Canaan in heaven and on earth. In various parts of the world, there are people who know me as the Mother of Humankind, the Mother of Peace, the Universal Mother. Hence, despite tremendous challenges, my resolve for the sake of our Heavenly Parent, Heaven's providence, and all humanity is steadfast. It is rooted in the pledge I made as I bowed my head before True Father's holy body. I will establish Chun Il Guk on earth. The 40-day course began in Cambodia on November 19th, 2019, at the personal invitation of Prime Minister Hun Sen, which I gladly accepted. I flew into Phnom Penh. The Asia-Pacific Summit was the first event that the government of Cambodia had ever co-hosted with a non-governmental organization. It was held in Phnom Penh at his office, which is known as the Peace Palace. At a reception prior to the summit's opening, he gathered the participating world leaders. The Prime Minister spoke about the importance of the Asia-Pacific Summit, the necessity for harmony and cooperation among Asian nations, and the efforts he had made to help develop Cambodia. I then spoke about the significance of this event. The purpose of this summit, I said, is to share that God the Creator, from whom we have been separated due to the human fall, is humanity's heavenly parent. Our future is full of hope since we are holding the Asia-Pacific Summit under God's guidance. The participants expressed their support for the goals of the summit and applauded the Cambodian government's groundbreaking initiative and cooperation with UPF. Prime Minister Hun also voiced support for my Asia-Pacific Union initiative as a path of cooperation that would lead to peace in Asia. Following our meeting, he escorted me into the main auditorium, and the Asia-Pacific Summit began. More than 800 representatives from 46 nations, including several heads of state, were present. I spoke to them about our role in helping bring heaven's providence to fruition and about the coming era of the Pacific civilization, the final point of settlement in heaven's providence. I stated that the Pacific civilization will be one of true love characterized by attendance to God as the heavenly parent. In the presence of several current and former heads of state and ambassadors, His Excellency expressed support for the vision of regional peace anchored in the Asia-Pacific Union initiative I had proposed. Jesus said that the first shall be the last, and the last shall be the first. This sentiment could be felt as these delegates, though far from Jesus' homeland, signed the Phnom Penh Declaration and expressed active support for the vision of an Asia-Pacific Union. So much was accomplished for the Providence. It seemed as if 1,000 years had condensed into that one day. I felt that Heavenly Parent and True Father must have been very pleased with the outcome of the summit. The next day, we convened the Youth and Family Festival for Nation Building and Peace at the prestigious Kho Bek Theater in Phnom Penh. More than 4,000 participants attended, including heads of state from around the world, as well as Deputy Prime Minister Bon Chun, Chief Secretary Yim Nola of the Ministry of Home Affairs, and numerous government officials. As I officiated the blessing ceremony held as a culminating event of the Youth and Family Festival, I blessed the nation as Heavenly Cambodia, a nation where our Heavenly Parent can dwell. In preparation for this historic event, I offered heartfelt prayers and devotion for the sake of Cambodia. Between 1975 and 1979, the blood of many innocent people was shed because of a wrong ideology. Some 2 million people were starved and slaughtered because of communism. Today, nearly 40 years later, Heavenly Parent sent the only begotten daughter and Mother of Peace to Cambodia to bless this land as a heavenly nation. Heaven's providence has multiple dimensions. From the human perspective, my visit to Cambodia may have been a visit to a nation to host an event. However, Heaven's providence is not so one-dimensional. I had to liberate both the souls of the victims who had been unjustly killed and the souls of the young people whom the government had forced to commit murder and treat their fellow human beings with terrible cruelty. During my benediction prayer, I first comforted Heavenly Parent, whose heart was torn to pieces by the massacres in Cambodia. I then liberated the souls of those who had died as a result of the atrocities. I blessed the past, present, and future of Cambodia through the blessing ceremony, so its young people of today can begin preparing for a hopeful future. New hope for China. Since ancient times, in many cultures and traditions, the ocean has been seen as a mother. The Chinese characters for the Pacific Ocean translate as Great Ocean of Peace, and in English, Pacific means peaceful in character or intent. The Pacific civilization can become a great mother of peace by opening the era of a civilization characterized by filial piety for heaven, Hyojong, and true love, living for the sake of others. It can do so by embracing and putting into practice the sacrificial and altruistic heart of the mother, and discarding our inherited fallen practices of seduction, conquest, and exploitation. The Pacific civilization arises in the latter stages of the providence, centering on the true mother of humankind, the only begotten daughter. At this time, through the only begotten daughter, the feminine aspect of God, the Heavenly Mother hidden throughout history, must be revealed. God can no longer be seen solely as the Heavenly Father. God is the Heavenly Parent, the harmonious, perfected union of Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother. The Pacific civilization is defined by the ideal of one family of humanity, which manifests naturally when we attend Heavenly Parent as our vertical parent of humanity. In 2017, I proclaimed this culture of heart based on true love at 12 rallies of hope held in Korea, Japan, the United States, Thailand, and beyond. Hundreds of thousands of people attended these events. I continued to proclaim the Pacific civilization and the culture of heart throughout 2018, starting with the Africa Summit in Senegal and concluding with the Asia-Pacific Summit in Nepal. But in order to firmly establish the age of the Pacific civilization, the participation of the Greater China region, with a population of 1.7 billion people, is essential. Over the decades, the unification movement in China has experienced challenges. Thus, we started preparations for the launch of the Chinese People's Federation for World Peace in 2017 by bringing together overseas Chinese and other ethnic Chinese. The former refers to those of Chinese lineage who have left the mainland and moved abroad while maintaining their cultural roots and connection to the mainland. The latter refers to Chinese immigrants who have lost their linguistic and cultural ties to China. When we say Chinese People's Federation, we refer to both groups.
Thank you to Mother for this incredible addition of your work during this time, the last 10 years, but in particular last 7 years from Father's Ascension to 2020. Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you, Reverend, first of all, Reverend Milhan, who asked me to sit in so he can listen. And I'm doing a reflection. Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you, Vera, for your prayer. I kind of struck by the fact that I'm reflecting on that because this is totally awesome to me. I would say this whole idea of, as a first reflection before we go through the material, two mothers able to embrace a communist nation, as we know that Cambodia is still a communist nation, but back then there were 2 years of communism basically having their heyday and pushing young people to kill and and murder and do all kinds of atrocities to their own fellow men and women. As we have heard about the killing fields. So the fact that True Mother has been able to embrace a communist country and love the unlovable, forgive the unforgivable, again, as is mentioned in Two Parents' Visit to North Korea. So the other thing is that there's new hope for China, which is very special to me because our daughter, Katie, is in Beijing, working there, and she speaks fluent Chinese, spent quite some time studying in Taiwan and then also working in China before she now became a diplomat in China. So the presence of our second gen is making all the difference, as we see also in the writing here of the True Mother. No matter what their status is, but just the fact that they're there makes all the difference. So True Mother says here, as she was pushing beyond my limits to fulfill the promise I made to Heavenly Parent, the True Father, and our global membership to restore 7 heavenly nations by our foundation, the events in February 2020. And she did it. She did it, and she did it, and she did it, and she did it with condition after condition and putting herself literally on the chopping block, and finished it off with a 40-day condition course in the end of 2019. So it's this kind of all, really parental for me personally. Is kind of the stratosphere. True Parents are operating on such a high level and such a heavenly level. And it's just like I'm looking up and I say, how can anybody do this? So this is going on to the character of our True Mother. She is the only begotten daughter. She is the tree of knowledge for good and evil, but not like fallen Eve, who became the tree of knowledge of evil, rather than being able to distinguish between good and evil and decide on the good, which is True Mother naturally doing, which is such a great blessing for mankind, for history. True Mother is 6,000 years and a day older than Eve. So this is the way I see True Mother. She's just a most amazing human being. So is True Father, who has lifted her up. So True Mother said at True Father Sungwa, next to her father's holy body, I will establish Chongguk on earth. And she is steadfast in that. So moving on to Cambodia, the fact that the government of Cambodia co-hosted this with a non-governmental organization like the Federation for World Peace and UPF is a milestone in seeing how True Parents, True Mother in particular now for the last 10 years have been operating. And as Milhan pointed out, her basic paradigm is summit, blessing, and youth festival. So this is the way she accomplished that, and also bringing into the game the whole idea of the Pacific Rim and the Pacific civilization being the end game. And so moving on to the place where, let's see here, what I did write down. Yeah, where she says, it seemed like True Mother's, okay, maybe I can everybody see my cursor? No, I just see mine. Okay. Anyway, Jesus said that the first shall be last and the last shall be first. That really struck me because truly, Israel is right on top, on the other end of the Pacific civilization, centering on Korea and Japan and all the various nations in the Asia area and the Pacific Rim area. So it's just amazing to me how Mother describes that, and it makes so much sense. That she puts herself out there, and time has not really been considered, but there it is. 1,000 years have been condensed in one day. And this is what we're able to do with our prayers and being able to harmonize, or being the mediator between the spirit world and the physical world. We can experience the same thing. Sometimes a day is like 1,000 years, and a long time here is just like one moment. So the song that Whitney Houston sang at the 1988 Olympics, "A Moment in Time," comes to mind. So it's truly so that we have this unique position in the universe where we have a clock ticking on the earth that goes by the sun, but there is the spirit world. There's a different time experience and different space experience, but we can have both of it. And especially while we're on earth, we have this unique experience. So as I have mentioned, the next day we convened the Youth and Family Festival for the Nation Building and Peace at the prestigious Pick Theater in Phnom Penh. So Mother combines the blessing and the youth festival, and saying that the youth then will be able to stand further down the road on a foundation that is hopeful. So she's referring to the fact that she was going there not only to go to be at an event, but heaven's providence is not so one-dimensional. I had to liberate both the souls of the victims who had been unjustly killed and the souls of the young people whom the government had forced to commit murder and treat their fellow human beings with terrible cruelty. Yes, everybody who is in Cambodia must have really very big struggle with that fact that this country has done these atrocious things with people literally and their families being taken and slaughtered, and such a kind of like a bad self-image. And for young people to know that, how can they say, well, Cambodia can be a heavenly place, you know? But it is because of our true mother that these souls could be liberated, and that this ceremony, this blessing ceremony, so that young people today can begin preparing for a hopeful future. That's right down here before the new section on China. So I'm very grateful for True Mother have done that in the island. I can't remember now. The Kori Island. What's the name again? Coney, not Coney Island. In Africa, in Senegal. Gory, not Corey. Yeah, gory. So it's a very gory place, that's for sure. But she did that also in Austria, in the concentration camp of Mauthausen, and now she's done that in Cambodia as well. So I'm so grateful that she can do that, and heaven can accept that, and everybody in the spirit world and on earth can accept it, because she's doing that in a position of the sinless person that nobody can say anything about except thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to Mother. Oh my goodness, thank you. Anyway, the new hope for China. New hope is such a theme in our movement. New hope, new hope, new hope. I have been privileged to be part of a New Hope group, the New Hope Singers International. At that time, I was not aware how important New Hope is. We have to have New Hope, as your mother said earlier. New Hope is maybe the best thing there is. And this is all centered on the culture of filial piety for heaven, the Hyojong culture. And the Hyojong, as you know, is connected to the word of Hyojinim's name, Hyojin. Hyojin is connected to that filial heart. It's more than just a filial piety. but it's a filial heart of love. You just want to always think about the parents. In this case, not only their own parents, but the heavenly parents, which now to Mother explains and introduces. At this time, through the only begotten daughter, the feminine aspect of God, the Heavenly Mother, hidden throughout history, must be revealed. It is so amazing and so wonderful. Every time I hear somebody speak, it always comes to mind immediately. I say, okay, what about the mother? What about the women? I was sitting in this, the other day I was sitting and getting my blood drawn for a blood test. And this man next to me, sitting next to his either sister-in-law, anyway, she had just thrown up in the parking lot. I was watching the whole thing. I was waiting for my blood test. And then so I was watching them standing there, and then she was throwing up. And then in the waiting room, I was sitting there and listening to him talking consistently. He was from Sicily, originally his ancestry. And the woman next to me, she was kind of like, okay, when he can stop. And is a very accomplished, a senior citizen, having worked for the state for 47 years. And he goes on and on and on. He was just complaining about his sons, the 3 sons. Oh, no, they're just doing this. And then finally he turned to me, what do you think? What do you think? And I said, well, and then he said, well, I'm surrounded by all these women. He was taking care of this woman, his wife and his sister-in-law that was throwing up all over the place. And I said, well, just remember, you're surrounded by women. Be grateful for it. Be grateful. A woman gave birth to you. Well, yeah, you're right. You're right. And the woman next to me just said, yeah, he's quite something. But I told him basically, stop complaining, not in so many words, but in that spirit in the room, which was really, really low, it changed. It became very bright. He was laughing and he said, it's nice to meet you. And I told him, be grateful for the mothers and the God-centered mothers in your life, So this is what we are moving into, this culture of Heavenly Mother. And the Pacific Rim civilization will be that that culture. It is the culture centering on Japan, who has to survive. Japan has to survive because, and with the help and support of Taiwan, as to Mother asked, Cao Wei-li, who happened to study here in upstate New York, who was at that time the national leader, to please support Japan and all the other daughter nations like Canada and Philippines and all the nations, and even Great Britain needs to support Japan in this battle and stand up and face down the evil mother, China, mainland China. This is what I understand in the scheme of the heavenly family, or the satanic family, in this case, North Korea being the Adam, and China, the mainland China, the communist China being the satanic Eve, and then Russia being the archangel, bad archangel. So anyway, this is my take on this today. We're grateful for True Mother, who's leading us in this. So we are doing our work locally, but we are contributing to the great work of restoring this whole world. And thank you again for your patience. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Reverend Sebastian. That was wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathleen.
Okay, family, let's take a moment to share our appreciations and our reflections, and we'll be back in 5 minutes. Thank you, everybody, for your sharing. Just got an important message from Pastor Milhan that Richard Ramras is in the hospital. He has a serious heart problem, and he may have to have open heart surgery. So we'll find out today. But it's very serious situation. So I just wanted to ask everybody to please pray for Richard Ramras. I'm sure you all know him from Sunday service. Gosh, we'll find out more today. Sorry. Phil, you're on today. You want to share? Phil, hi. Phil, can you hear me? You want to share? You want to say something?
You're talking to whom?
Phil, hi.
Yeah, hi.
Can you hear me?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we can hear
Yes.
you.
Can you hear me,
Yes.
Kathleen?
No, your connection's very bad.
Yes. Can everyone hear me?
No, I'm sorry, Phil.
Okay. Uncle
Yeah, you
Richard.
can try.
Oh,
Go
sorry. Richard Ramros is my spiritual father. He brought me to the church. And unfortunately, yesterday, he went to the doctor and had to be immediately transferred to the emergency room, where his heart rate dropped significantly. They had to give him medication. They admitted him. He's right now at NYU, Langone Medical Center in Brooklyn. You know, his heart rate continues to go low. He's going to be having a cardiac catheterization today, you know, to see if his heart and his heart itself can withstand possible open heart surgery, you know. And if he has that, he's going to be transferred to NYU Tisch in Manhattan. But we don't know what's going to happen. He's having a cardiac catheterization this morning. So if we can all
We'll pray for him, Phil. We'll pray for him. Definitely.
if we can all, thank you.
We have 39 people here
Thank you.
today. We have 39 people here. That's 39 people are going to pray for Richard Ramras. Don't worry, Phil. Everything will be okay.
Yeah. As soon as I know more, I will be in touch with Pastor Stevens or Josh, you know, to let them know exactly what's going to be going on.
Okay. Thank you. How are you? Are you okay? Your health is not so great either.
Well, you know, yeah, it's not so great either, you know, but we need to, you know, keep faith and, you know, pray and, you know, go forward.
That's right.
So,
well, thank you for letting us know, Phil.
yeah.
So
I'm going to go ahead and jump off because I want to get to the hospital. So,
all right. Take care. Okay, brothers and sisters, today is the 14th day of our 21-day prayer condition.
thank you, Kathleen.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Phil. Today's the 14th day of our 21-day prayer condition to establish the Church in One in Harlem and up in Albany. And maybe Red Hook someday too. Connecticut, New Hampshire, everywhere. All right, brothers and sisters, let's begin our 7 minutes unison prayer. Shija. Most
Good
beloved
morning,
Heavenly
Heavenly
Parent.
Parent. Good
Heavenly
morning to
Parent,
parents.
also for
Morning,
Long
Heavenly
Island.
Father.
We're so grateful
Heavenly
that
Parent,
we
we want to
can
have one
gather
in
Thank
Long
you
and
for life,
Island.
pray.
silence,
Most
Yeah.
dear
life.
brothers and
And
sisters,
Breath
we
of
can
life,
pray
Lord.
every day to you,
home
Heavenly
and
Shower
Kylie
Parent.
home
blessings
as well.
Heavenly
The
touch
parent,
every
thank you
Parent,
so
heartache.
much for
Replace
so
everything,
the
grateful
Lord.
morning, and I
each
pray especially for
this
Milhan,
call.
Pray
that
that
he
you
can
give
get
him
over
the
his
Strength that is
condition.
missing
life
Heavenly
And
many years.
Father,
Pray
Parent.
and
for
give
Pray
thanks and give
Richard
Father.
Ramirez,
parents,
some of the
May
pray
be
for
parents
there,
God
Father,
in
under his
that is in
for
time,
intensive
Father, when we
Sarah,
and now
Father,
and
from
for
for open heart
one
surgery.
last night.
Mother
Your
Long
will be done.
Be a
Power,
some
we
encouragement
pray
for
for
her
medicine,
all
both
those
ancestors, Father,
funerals
to
science
alleviate
aspect
for
of our
of
community.
healing from
On the day,
heaven,
Father, can destroy
brother
sudden
going
help.
together, Heavenly
and pray for your
Father.
For many, many
for your
At this time,
bending over prayers.
Father, every
Prayers
member
for us,
pray
experience
Heavenly
negative
Parent and
elements,
essential.
Father,
for each and every one of
If
broken
anybody goes
mother
this
this
world,
time.
it's a
taking
great
over that room to
sacrifice at
create an
this time.
atmosphere,
We
Father,
pray
where
for
we can honor your
Heavenly
home,
Parent, we
Father.
need
what's gonna be
many
pray
people
Heavenly
Father,
praying to you as
pray for the
time,
heart
Father, help continue standing in the right place for us there,
faces
Father.
around,
we can get a
Making them
speedy
some Father, pray
recovery,
that you
faithful,
can
we can
bless
get
them
well
as well.
soon. That the doctors
So,
steadfastly
Father,
going forward,
that can
even though she is
Father,
in
turn
so
Milhan's healing
intensive
and
going to
really,
shape
Father,
as a mother,
pray
take
Heavenly
over
having
his
given herself
Parent
really has
who can
made
each
all
and
the
every one
negative
parent
elements
life, having
of
bad
life,
pray
knees,
Father.
having
Heavenly
bad
As a
eyes, having
beacon,
bad
Father, for our
hips,
spirit,
and
to be able to
yeah,
protect
her spirit is
against
undaunted,
this wrong
Parent
error, Father.
pray for
steadfast,
him pray for
Passing
each
culture error,
steadfast, steadfast.
pray for
changing
him
our
and
lives to the
For
point
Richard, that
that's
the spirit
beacon
pray for
to
our
the
brothers and
hey, I
sisters
want to continue.
pray that
I
so
continue
much
here on
for
this
the
earth.
community coming
Don't
together,
give
Father,
up now.
to pour up our heartfelt prayers, Father,
I
so that he could be
pray for
100%
William
back in the fold
and really
and be
support
healthy.
him
members,
Father, really
mutual brother,
pray
at
for
this
Mary
time, Heavenly Father, I want to pray
Heavenly
for
him
and
to stay with
Ramos,
us.
Heavenly
Heavenly
Father,
Your
Mary
will,
really,
be
Father,
with us
for
continue in
Rhoda
this
time,
series of
Heavenly
cleaning
Parent.
all your
for
Need
Father, help
beautiful
him
family
physical
and
bodies on
back
deck,
in right now to really help him
Mary
with heart math,
in the spirit world,
heal
strong,
him, Father,
for Reverend Just
be
back
swayed.
home, whole.
We need the same thing
Father,
here on this
continue
earth.
pray,
Heavenly
Father,
Parent
for
and
Father,
pray
the
for
rest
all
of the family.
brothers and
Brothers
Really
and
sisters
pray for
sisters,
pray
as
for
they're
all brothers
working to
Father,
establish the
living
Township
the
One
blessing
in Holland, Father,
visualizing your clean
is
Father, your steps,
our
Heavenly
prayer to
pastors,
happen.
really, Father, be able to
Oh,
the
Father,
whole
night
Father community
for
gives us this
beautiful
rise
Albany as well.
and
So pray, Father, for
Hope,
each
in
step,
Harlem and all
spirit,
the
Father,
Heavenly
difficult,
Parent
and we can
many
establish
Heavenly
an area, Father, in their
May the
homes.
dream be
It
fulfilled.
might be a small apartment.
Bring the big
It can be a dedicated area,
save America, set America
be
great.
a Township
Save that
One
world.
area, Father.
Sebastian Humor,
Pray for the
It is
children
their family,
in Harlem and all the
knowledge,
pray that
it's
many
also
people can come
boys
there
can
and be
have
Father,
tested.
counters his family,
Happen,
families,
their
the
own
earth,
happen every
Township One in their own
so
home.
family,
for
They
everyone
cannot
living at
remain
Harlem, Virginia.
move that well,
We
Father,
pray
full
Heavenly
especially some of
life,
the
full
elder
work,
Parent for
folks
Johnny
that are long
community,
distance from
Jesus,
Township One.
missionaries are
all the
there,
Out,
family,
Father,
really pray that
establish
you
missionaries
one
for
room
brothers
or
have
two
John Watson,
area
New York,
in
pray
their
for
own homes.
pray Heavenly
Business.
Parent
Pray now,
make a
Father,
wife
for
family,
each
that America
brother and
stand
sister
up and take a role of
Father,
service
Malik
and
South
Ocean,
aid
well
the
Father,
war.
the
Stockton,
word,
Pray Heavenly
and
the
all
word from a
Parent
Chuma's memoir,
community power,
tested
every
together
brother and
New York,
support
Father,
family members,
parent
Conduct
and
family of
parent
New
Desmond
York,
Green, Reverend Desmond Green,
and everyone tuning
Amen.
this
City,
The
morning
main
for their
one,
family.
Shih Tzu, Unico, Thomas
Family,
Corbin,
we
parent.
pray for the children, the
Father,
grandchildren,
Sayaka,
Smoking the
we
Priest,
have Melhan,
Father,
Father, the
pray
for
children,
Aaron family,
and
pray for us
Iroke,
Edward family,
and
also,
everyone here in America that America
Bush's
can
life,
recover
for
and
Joshua,
education and
their
step
Father,
family,
Rose,
forward.
Father, is
Mark,
Matt,
Spread them
Papa, I also
Young,
pray,
our
Father,
children,
Yo,
lead us on
Father,
the
their
Father,
wives,
pray for
family,
them,
the leaders of the
uncle
free
that
from
can share their
New
every
hope every
can
understanding
day,
take
with
their
Father.
their sisters and
We
responsibility
can
brothers
for
and
continue,
sisters,
themselves.
Father. We
Father.
Carry their
continue
husband
That they
down
can
from
Father, to
their
realize that
strive
the
for
Lord
children
on the second
our
mercy
their
has
houses
self-control,
come
submitted to covenant
to
our
give
and
us
own
pray
the
that they
mind and
will
body,
and
out of
the
our own
covenant
rooms, out of
for
our
the
own
purposes of
houses,
every
Father, out
Father,
of
marriage,
our
not
own
to fall
children,
church
involved.
areas, Father, out of our
to
centers,
one
out of every
grateful
area,
for the
Father, our
ministry of one
communities, Father,
so
our
grateful
cities,
for every
this country
Believers
here,
that can
Father,
understand the
success
big
of
picture of
world,
the
Father,
love,
who,
pray for the
Father, that
understand the
putting
big
their
pray for
best
Yojan and we pray
forces
for
of
Tracy
evil, Father,
and
they're in the
we
sonship
can
one
advance this
that
understanding
and we want to
their
be
heavenly sonship one
blessed,
pray that
to realize
receive the blessing,
what is happening
cover
in your
them with
going,
parents and
going,
of
man and
Father,
woman having
mentally,
pray for
monetarily,
will
we
for
can,
pray for
will
brother
this
with
whole
long
world
life
of establishing a
kind of
family,
pray
establishing
for
at,
lineage,
at least half of the
essentially
world
pray
know
directing
who
God
parents are on
pray
this
that
earth.
the world in new
Christianity,
directions.
pray that
2,000 years,
Thank you
the
again
message
for
of
this
the book,
person in the
sonship one
spiritual world
Father,
and
pray
for
to
that
me
men
the
to
of the
hear you
come
world.
and pray
in the spiritual world,
This
Harlem
is
that
recognizing the
can
spiritual world is often
praying
affected
and
in
in
influence
such a way
happen
that we can do this in these next few
friends
years, Father.
love
There's so
providence
much
through your
bloodshed over it,
spiritual
so much
wisdom.
suffering
give
To
takes place in
pray
Ukraine,
for
Father, and
Pacific
Israel,
region,
Father,
especially
fruit
for
of the
China,
spirit
that
that
Father made
lovingly about
of
Charlie, the
America
Chinese
devil
character
wants
for
to
the
pray that
destroy
time.
we parenting
Together,
Israel,
good
United
goal
States, and Korea through the
brothers
United
praying
Nations.
as
That's really
embark
where it's
every
at.
brother
China
to
and
pray
People,
for
Father,
one
Beijing
not only
everyone
through
lifting hands
the various individual
working
conflicts of
heavily on
on
this
South
topic.
America
But you are
what is doing in
help
America
having
has become a tool of
best
evil,
from
Father.
you
America we
and
That's
what
a
has been
venue
done
of evil,
everyone
for
Father.
that
connecting
that
Communism
is
wants to
one
destroy
pray
Israel.
that
Harlem
they
Wants to
fulfill
and Paris and
Islam
those who can
victory
establish peace and tranquility.
who died
Kingdom
last
of
time.
heaven.
I don't
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your prayers. Do we have any announcements today? Well, I'd just like to remind everyone that you're welcome to come to the prayer condition at 9 o'clock tonight on this Zoom, to pray in the Chanchinwan, which is a very special opportunity. Today's day 14. We only have, 8 more days left. So take advantage of this opportunity. It's a real big blessing. Oh, everybody's muted. Let me unmute everybody.
Thank you, Kathleen.
Okay, you're unmuted. So, any other announcements? Everybody's still muted? Okay, I just unmuted.
Oh, we're unmuted.
Now we're unmuted. Let us really pray for Reverend Milhan. He's pushing himself to the limit.
Man.
Doing like Father, he's pushing. Let's really pray for him, okay? That's for our leader to be strong, okay?
Yeah, he can detox.
Yeah.
Yeah, detox. That's what's happening. Detox. For New York. For Harlem.
I just want to ask if you could maybe commemorate my mother-in-law. We have a ceremony today at noon for her to be cremated. So anyway, her name is Sheila Van Frank. Yeah.
What's her name?
Sheila
Van Frank.
Van Frank. Yeah.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah. Amen.
So thank you everybody for coming. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, everyone.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Have a good day. Enjoy the weather.